on them. So I'm really interested to see how Pick uses Isabel here, and if he'll follow through with some of his strategies here.
Right.
Also, it's also a really nice matchup here for Isabel versus Snake, because Isabel still has the pocket that Villager has too. So with Snake, you put out a grenade, you can pocket that, save it for later. So it's going to be really interesting to see that. Plus, Isabel has a little bit of what Snake has, where she has a lot of stage control too. With that Lloyd rocket there, she can plant it down. You might forget about that too. Now, it doesn't last as long as Snake's C4s.
Yeah.
But it's still... Oh, Snake just taking out Isabel there. But it still allows you for some stage control, or at least for setup moves.
Yeah.
Now we're seeing Isabel use the fishing rod in this one a lot more, and a little bit more effectively too, which is pretty impressive. Now Incineroar though, facing off against Simon. This one's going to be really interesting because Simon's very projectile heavy, plus he has that distance. Incineroar, you're going to want to get close. So this is obviously going to be really tough for Incineroar to face off against Simon. Now, as you just saw, Incineroar went off to go face Isabel instead, because that might be a little bit more even for them.
And there goes Incineroar.
But Simon, of course, coming back to Incineroar and saying, hey, nope, lay off my partner, I'm taking you out.
Yeah.
At this point here, they're just picking off Snake.
Yeah.
See, the thing is that Snake one-on-one is going to be great, but Snake against two others is going to be a little bit harder. He's going to have to place his C4s down more often, and at that time, they're going to be paying attention to it more, and they're going to be able to communicate, hey, he has a C4 there, pay attention to it. And you'll start to see them kind of gravitating away from the C4s more often. Ooh, he wasn't paying attention. See, that C4 was at the ledge. He was way too close to it.
Yeah.
They're getting a little too cocky here with their two stocks against, well, 4 stocks against 1
Yeah.
here.
What I noticed there was how Isabel kind of can pocket Simon's projectiles. So they're kind of
exactly. That could be actually good for for team strat there. All right, so he proved me wrong here. He actually showed that, like, okay, Isabel is going to be my character for this round, and probably in the next one here too, because he was really impressive with this with Isabel.
Yeah.
And of course, we're unlocked. There you go, Isabel hat.
There we go. I mean, if that match didn't show you, definitely getting the hat shows how good Isabel is.
Exactly. Exactly. If the game was like, hey, you earned this.
Yeah.
Isabel was really impressive. Here's the hat.
Yeah.
All right, we're already hearing some bands.
Yeah.
So we're going with Pokemon Stadium. Of course, this is the hazards on, so there will be some stage transformations, which will be really interesting to see how Snake works his C4s in. I'm wondering if he's going to place them on any walls that might appear, or if he's going to try to maybe place them somewhere, leave them there, and when the stage transforms, say if it goes up on a tree or if it goes up on a windmill, we'll see how that works out for Snake. It's going to be really interesting to see how he plays out. But Ridley here, I'm very surprised that Fug went with Ridley, because Ridley is a huge character in this game. Of course, in previous games he was too big.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting that he's going with Ridley here. Simply because these are two projectile-heavy characters, and with Ridley having such a huge hurt box here, it's going to be interesting. That's all I got to say. Especially since I haven't seen a lot of really high-level players using Ridley yet, so it's going to be interesting just seeing somebody be really good with Ridley. Now, for a stage like this, I think that Ridley is too big, but in a good way. When he goes down there, he can still, he can hide down there and just use his moves through those walls.
Yes.
So that is a strategy he might keep on using, but at the same time, there he goes.
There you go.
His hurt box is just too big. He's just for these kind of characters, for Simon's whip, it can hit him at anywhere basically. But Snake is trying his best to stay in here, laying some C4s down. Can't live it this time, just can't live. Oh, and looks like Isabel caught herself a Ridley. I wonder what the strategy was into picking Ridley for this match here. Because since you have to pick the stages first,
Yeah.
knowing that you're going to Pokemon Stadium, I wonder if he knew that he'd be able to use the walls maybe to his advantage. Like say for things like that, or that side B where he bounced Isabel off the wall there.
Yeah.
I wonder if he was just waiting for this part of the stage to pop up.
Maybe. It's a risky bet, but
Yeah.
it pulled off there. Right. We're at 3 stocks per team.
Snake's trying his best to really try to take more control of the ground right now. And here's the strategy I was talking about earlier here. We'll see if it comes into play.
Yeah.
But when you place the C4 down, the stage has to morph. And the C4 is going to go wherever the stage decides it goes. So we'll see if it comes into play eventually here. Ooh, Snake had to cancel out a side B. Oh, still getting his teammate there. Snake has to be really careful now that his teammate is much larger. And he's throwing out a lot of projectiles. He has to be careful that he doesn't get his teammate in there too often, or else he's going to be building up damage on the wrong side here. And you can lose your teammate just like that. Now, Dubster's going to have to be really impressive with his Snake, with his C4 placements, because he has to take more control of the ground now, as it's 2 against 1 here. But it's all single stocks here. We'll see if he can manage to take a stock from one of them.
Yeah, and everyone is at a high percentage.
And you'll see that he's going in, trying to get some attacks there, and then dodge back out. He's just trying to go in, see what he can do, move out, and like reposition himself.
Oh.
Ooh.
And Isabel was charging that one.
With the party popper. And it looks like they'll be moving on.
Yep.
They